Food for thought. You are in a certain stage in life. It's neither good, neither bad. It's just life. And obviously, you have had other times in your life that have had the highs and have had lows. And that's okay. Every point in your life has served as a pinpoint or a pin in your board, okay? Like imagine like that board, okay? Every single thing that has happened to you, that will happen to you, and yeah, has happened and will. Has happened and will. Yes, they will all be on your board, and they will be guiding you to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. It's super easy to be very confused in where you are in life. It is. You don't know what you're doing, where you're going, and how it's going to end. But that's life. Life is so mysterious. And it's wild to think about the thousands of millions of billions of quintillions amount of people that have lived life just like you and I. This is not something that is unknown. There is human life everywhere. And yours and mine are on a certain path. And we are here for a certain reason. You may be questioning why you're even here, which I feel like every single person has done. And it's normal. And if you didn't have those thoughts, then I don't know if you'd be human. Of even little kids, I like imagine those little kids that are like, what is our purpose in life? Why are we here? And the adults like, I don't know. I literally don't know. Because as curious as little kids, we are still those little kids who want to know our purpose. Even though we are in a certain stage in life, we will get to the next one, and to the next one, whether it will be higher, lower, medium, or just continuing life. It might seem pointless. It might seem like, what am I even doing this all for? And I wish I could tell you. I genuinely wish I could tell you. But the only thing that I 110% believe in, that you and I might share, is that every single step, whether it's important, whether it's pointless, whether it's monumental, it is serving a purpose of something bigger. It is so annoying just to continually work for something of the unknown. Like, what am I doing? Why am I even here? What am I supposed to do? But that is just life. And when we have to live life, we have to do life. And when we have to do life, we are living. And that is the adjective of doing something, of living. Sometimes we are surviving, sometimes we're just living, and sometimes we're even thriving in our new environment. But sometimes I think the hardest part of that little path and those pins in that board is being in between that gap, between the pin and the next pin. Or I should say the pin and then the next pin. Of that unknown. Because I feel like when you are in the most unknown is when you are figuring it out the most. That you're figuring out who you are, what you want, and who and what you really stand for. Because there is nothing going on. There's nothing major going on. You know what you're doing. You know what you have to get done to get from point A to point B, but you don't know what to do in between. And that is when you really have to figure things out. That's when you have to get your stuff together. And that's the hardest part. The hardest part about living, the hardest part about continuing, the hardest part about everything of life is when you don't feel like a purpose. Even though what you're doing right now might seem pointless, your actions for someone else might mean the world. The actions that you are doing to help someone else might be very small, very negligible for you and I. But for that person that you are doing those actions for and with, it might mean the world. So don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short from the perspective of thinking that you are just willy-nillying life. And that's what we kind of both are doing. But that willy-nillying section of life, that space in between, is when we have to trust that we are doing the right thing. And even though we might see people doing something big, something small, something medium, doing their own thing, doing their own gig, let's not compare ourselves. Because those people might have had their own lengthier spots between the point and the next point, when our spots might just be here and here, but we only can see here to here because we don't know that person, or that their life isn't that public, and all we know are their achievements. It is so easy to compare our journey to others, but we are in our own stage of life. Even if you think about it, if you have siblings, even a twin, you and them are completely different people. You might have the same friends, you might have the same classes, you might have had the same professors, but you and them are not the same, regardless of how hard other people in your life might make you two to be the same. Because you're on your own journey and they are on their own. And do not think one is better than the other, because it's really not. Because there is truly a rhyme to the reason. There is truly timing and divine timing. Same thing. I just couldn't think of the divine part first. But yes, it is the same divine timing. That everything is planning and working out the way it's supposed to. That every single thing that you want to achieve will work out. Because as long as you genuinely tell yourself that I can do this, that I will do this, and I can do this, is the only thing that's standing in front of you, and your achievement is literally your noggin, is your head. From getting to that one pin to the next pin is literally you in your head. As long as you believe that you can continue forward, you can. And as long as you don't think you can continue forward, then you won't. It's just the point of you continuing. It's hard. And you might just be in that hard spot in your life. It might just be that really hard part in between those points of, here's this really hard point or hard part to the next point, and then everything else, let's say the ceiling's the next point, and like here's like halfway, and then everything else from here to here is easy. You just have to continue life and continue where you're going and trust that everything is happening for a reason. Because once you get out of the woods, once you see that light at the end of the tunnel, you're going to run for it. You're going to run out of that forest. You're going to run towards that light. But right now it might seem very cloudy. But trust that you will get to where you are supposed to be when you are meant to be there. Because some things are out of your control. And you got to let things go when they aren't. Because that brings nothing but anxiety and worry. So just focus on your journey and focus on putting one foot in front of the other. And do not allow yourself to become discouraged. And if you do, reinforce yourself that you can, that you will, and soon enough that you did. Food for thought.